All right, and it's time for the file name. I will go ahead and read that out. Did the final refresh, Super Punch-Out. And the top file name here is Saitama. That's S-A-I-T-A-M-A. I've never seen any One Punch Man, but man, I'm going to start after this marathon. And
are we good?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right. I think we can hear each other.
Check.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so I'm ready whenever. Yeah, I'm ready whenever, so. Yeah, do you want to do a countdown? Yeah, okay. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! All right, so Zallard has to focus on the first phase of every fight. This is really important. So I'll explain some mechanics as we go, as he puts a hurt on Gabby J here. So major mechanics in Super Punch-Out are, you see the super meter at the bottom of the screen. That is the super punch in this game as opposed to the star punch you see in MTPO or Punch-Out Wii. The second major mechanic is the dizzy. You notice after he hit Gabby, he went into a long stun animation where he wobbled back and forth. Every character in this game has a hidden dizzy meter that is not displayed anywhere on the screen, but as soon as you cross a certain threshold of damage, every character can be dizzied and put into that stun animation. And when they're in that stun animation, there's a brief window in all of those where you can instantly knock them down, and that is the gist of how you play Super Punch-Out for speed. So Bear Hugger has a much higher dizzy level, so it's going to take him a while to put him into the stun animation. You see he's hitting counter punches there. How counter punches work is Little Mac's left counter punches the opponent's right and vice versa as long as they're on the same level. Zallard nailed it there. It's really good.
At the end of the game, there's this credit sequence, and Bear Hugger says something along the lines of, "I've heard someone can beat me in 17 seconds." So
Yep.
we've certainly done that.
No extra dodge. That's excellent.
That's like a 20% likely uppercut. So that's pretty lucky. 13 seconds, you won't get up.
Yep. So you'll notice a lot of times you'll see Zallard either whiffing punches or doing dodges or ducks when there's not really anything going on. What he's doing is executing buffer strats. Basically how Punch-Out inputs work is you can achieve an input on the first frame of recovery by just holding a button. So if Zallard wants to dodge and then immediately throw an uppercut, all he has to do is input the dodge and then hold the button for uppercut, and it'll come out on the first possible frame. So there's a combination of those inputs that he's going to use as buffers to get perfect timing on a lot of the dizzy windows. So you see he missed the dizzy chance on Piston Hurricane, so unfortunately he doesn't get the quick knockdown here. And then the other major important mechanic in SPO, it's also in the other Punch-Out games, is guard manipulation. So at the start of every fight or after a knockdown or what have you, the opponent will put their guard based on where Little Mac's guard is. So if you're holding up and doing jabs, they'll put their guard up. And if you have your guard at neutral or low, they'll put their guard down. So ideally, you do that for one frame, and then you can actually start hitting them in the opposite direction to start dizzying them. So the Bald Bull fight, this is actually one of the few fights in this game where being completely optimal is a detriment because all the opponents have different phases in this game. They have some scripted attacks where after a certain number of hits or number of seconds pass by on the clock, they can either add in extra dodges that are random or other things. So ideally, he actually wants to be not quite frame perfect on Bald Bull to manipulate him to not dodge or block an attack later in a phase.
And yeah, that was right there.
Yep.
Have to delay just a bit, or else he gets the opportunity to dodge, and we really don't want that.
Yep. Yeah, so after you knock down an opponent with the dizzy, every character has a brief window after their first knockdown, except for very specific ones. Bull being one of the ones you can't get a regular knockout on. You have to TKO him. But most of the characters have a window after their first knockdown where if you knock them down again, they will just stay down. And on average, that window is about 4 seconds from the time you knock them down on the timer to when you have to knock them down again. So that's where the big time gains come in Super Punch-Out, is he's looking to get that first dizzy, knock them down, and then immediately knock them down again within that window to make them stay down. So we're going to move on to Major Circuit. Bob is the first super random fighter in the game. He likes to dodge and dance and waste your time. So
just as no sometimes.
Yep. So there's a dodge, 2, 3. Yep. Good. Good, Bob. Nice to see you, buddy. So Zallard's still able to get the dizzy, although it took much longer than you want. But now, because of how long the timer is advanced, Bob's AI is now at a different point in the script. So he has to adjust this second phase to react to that. Unfortunately, Bob is not cooperating.
So I knocked him down with a regular punch. He's almost certainly going to get up from that.
Yeah.
Usually, if you get a super knockdown, that's when they won't be able to do anything.
Bob, why?
This is pretty much expected. Bob is...
He gets his
a very
words in
random
sometimes.
fight.
But you're kind of seeing how Super Punch-Out goes in general. If the optimal strats that Zallard and all the people who've worked on SPO go right off the bat, you can destroy fighters very quickly, but it only takes a very, very minor error for it to snowball. That's why these first phases are very important. So Dragon Chan is not random to start. He's actually very easy to get the first dizzy on. But the big thing with Dragon Chan is his second phase, he has 4 different options. He can either do kicks, or he can do a long or short heal. And so what we want to see is the short heal. Oh, that's awesome.
Long heal's still pretty good.
Yep.
9 seconds.
We'll take it. So if Dragon Chan had gone into kicks, it would have cost about another 3 to 4 seconds. There's nothing you can do about it. It's completely random what choice he makes. But with either heal, he's allowed to get the knockout very quickly there. So the only reason that uppercut didn't actually knock down Dragon Chan right away is that the heal had enough time to bring some of his health back to keep him from falling over. So Mass Muscle, this is the first opponent we're going to fight where guard manipulation can fail. Muscle will occasionally just put his guard where you don't want it, no matter what you do. This is a really good start to the fight, though. Nice. Very, very good.
So because of how fast that was, he won't get the opportunity to spit. Once you cross 8 seconds, then there's a random chance that he'll just spit at you, and it can cause a whole bunch of stuff. But
Awesome fight.
It was a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
He won't get up.
Lucky 7s on Muscle is take it every time. So it's entirely possible that in that first phase, he could have just randomly blocked any of those punches Zallard threw, and then he would have to change his strategy based on how many blocks were done. So now we get to Sandman, who is not nearly as scary as his Punch-Out counterpart. He's actually the least random character in the whole game. He can be done the same way every time without fail. So there you see Zallard throwing a left jab, right jab, left jab. That's the buffer strat I'm talking about. That window to actually get the knockdown with the super punch when they're in stun animation is very small. It's not a very large area. So by throwing those 3 punches, he gets to just hold the gut super punch button, and then he will hit the window every single time without fail. This is the last phase for Sandman. Very nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight.
Yeah. All right, so we're already halfway through. The World Circuit is where things start getting a little bit more interesting. There's some fighters that can be super random, including one of the worst in the whole fight, the whole game. So.
Yeah. One of the dizzies, particularly Super Macho Man, is very, very luck dependent.
Yep.
You need him basically to not do an exercise program, but he does it feels like 50% of the time.
So Aaron Ryan is sadly not nearly as interesting as he is in Wii Punch-Out. We basically just going to wail on him and make this a very short event.
That one jab when he jumps to the left is really tight.
Yep. Nice. So that window there to knock him down with the super punch when he goes into the grab him animation is actually very difficult to hit, even with the buffer strats. It's still really easy to go too fast, and then you whiff, and then you're in a bad spot. So really, really good timing there from Zallard.
Yeah, that dodge and right gut is not a perfect buffer. It's what we call like a pseudo buffer.
Yeah.
It's basically, it changes the visual cue a little bit. Yeah. Makes it a little bit easier to react to.
So Heike has actually had some new strats found on him that are pretty impressive, but probably won't be seeing those for the marathon here.
Yeah, for the new task strategy on Heike, you have to basically not lose more than 2 frames the entire fight.
Easy, every time. Got the block there. It's random on that last rapid punch whether Heike will block or dodge. It's actually preferable for the dodge, if I remember right.
Yep.
Yep.
It saves something like 5 frames.
Yeah.
It's pretty inconsequential.
Yep. Unless you're going against Zallard splits, then 5 frames is worth a lot.
Yeah. It would also be important for the new task strategy. You kind of need that to happen too, so another reason to not go for it.
So Mad Clown is another, I don't care about your guard manipulations. And in general, he's a clown and a jerk, so this fight is pretty interesting. Gets the first counter. Nice. Nice. And as you can see, Zallard didn't go into any buffer animation because there isn't a fast enough buffer to set up what he wants to do for the instant knockdown there.
So that's a very, very fast
that's
clown.
destruction.
Because of how fast that was, he's going to get a very low refill. The odds of that happening are very, very slim.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous Mad Clown fight. Awesome. So now we come to Macho, and basically the window to get him into his dizzy is ridiculously small. He just doesn't like to cooperate long enough to take enough hits to reach the dizzy threshold, so hopefully he will cooperate here, but this fight is a run-ender in most attempts. Nice. Okay.
So I'm going to try to go for a KO, but it's going to be pretty luck dependent. Let's see what happens.
No exercise programs. You jerk.
That's an unblockable.
Yep. Yeah, so Macho can actually be KO'd. You don't have to knock him down 3 times to beat him, but Zallard got good luck in phase 1, but it wasn't the top tier luck, so basically what had to happen in the second phase is Macho had to not go into an exercise program for him to have any chance to get the knockout, because again, that window after the first knockdown is about 4 seconds. So
yeah, I mean, that's really not surprising at all.
No.
I mean, basically, you're kind of just at the mercy of what he wants to do.
Yep.
And I could have actually made that work if he had done exercise program A or B, but he went with C, which is triple uppercuts.
Yep,
and
that
if
is.
you attempt a super punch, then you don't even get an opportunity to dodge. Like, you're just taking all 3 of them.
Yep. Now we're onto the special circuit, and this jerk.
This guy.
So
Yeah.
Narcissus is the most random character in the game. So the amount of options that Zallard needs to know to deal with this fight are through the roof. The big thing with Narcissus is he hates to be hit in the face. That's how you get him into aggressive mode. He's much easier to deal with in aggressive mode. All right, that's not bad.
Yeah.
When he's not in aggressive mode, he can just dodge, he can dance around, he can twirl, he can do all these things regardless of what you're doing to him and just waste your time nonstop. That might keep him down.
Yeah, actually.
I
That
think-
was a 10-second phase 1.
Yeah,
We're
so
in
this should be a
13.
knockout.
It depends, though, because I got hit. Yeah, he's not getting up.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
So that fight looks kind of simple, but like the number of options Zallard has to be prepared for with Narcissus is through the roof. She showed me the basics of a flowchart once, and my head basically exploded. Now we're on to Hoy, who is almost as bad, but for different reasons. So this is an excellent start.
Oops.
Nice. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hoy made poor choices. So the big deal with Hoy is that he can randomly do dodges, which obviously makes the dizzy meter start going down, and he has a pretty high dizzy threshold. But he has this wow, really? Holy crap. Unreal. You can't knock out Hoy no matter what, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
10-second
10 seconds.
Hoy is unheard of. That's so good. Excellent. So you didn't get to see it, thankfully, but Hoy has a move where he will just take his staff and shove you. And the problem with that is the animation on it is so long that it always resets his dizzy threshold back to 0, so you have to start from square one again trying to dizzy him. So all we have left are the two Bruiser brothers. Rick is pretty straightforward. He's a mostly easy fight, especially for this stage in the game, but it's also a fight where one mistake turns this into a nightmare really quickly. So the first phase is out of the way. Nice.
Not sure where his refill is going to be here.
Yeah.
I made a very tiny error, but recovered pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to wait for this.
Yep. Still solid. So basically, Zallard mistimed something just slightly. So what happened is Rick's final refill was a little bit higher than it should have been. Normally, he could have just super punched him and ended the round very quickly, but that's still a good Rick time. Okay, so this fight is the most tense in the game, so we're just going to be quiet for phase one. This requires immense concentration. Yes. All right.
Okay.
So that first counter is unbelievably difficult. Nick can throw 4 different punches there. Zallard has to react and hit a varying counter window based on which one there was. Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
He won't get up from that.
No, that's incredible. Awesome.
That was the
Great
one
job,
thing I
dude.
really wanted
Great
in this
job.
run, and I got it.
Fantastic.
Good stuff, Sid.
I can't accurately explain how ridiculous it is to hit those counters. Like, the window where the counter is changes based on which punches he throws, and the amount of frames Zallard has to react and then input that punch is not normal for human reaction time, so that's ridiculous. This is much like MTPO, the hardest fight in the game in terms of execution, and just putting it all on the line is the last one, and yeah, that would have been pretty ridiculous for
Yeah,
fun.
no, that was a pretty fantastic special circuit. all
Yeah,
things
no, that
considered.
was incredible. So yeah, everybody give up for Zallard. Come on. And now, you know, we let him use his eyeballs, but you guys don't want to let him do that anymore, right? All right. Well, let's get ready to have the 2 greatest punch-out players in the world get up here and show us what they really know how to do.
Fantastic. We are all extremely excited for this. Look at those pink hair guys. Yeah, they're pretty excited. Everybody is. Awesome. We have a lot of donations to get through during this setup. Setup will probably be pretty quick, but Riley gave $50 and said, I can't watch much, but I'm really enjoying the interviews and commentary. This is for PCF and our Lord and Savior, Chris Wilson.